All right, Nikon F6 is the most modern Nikon film camera to date.
That's right. It came out in 2004 and was discontinued only in October 2020. So a 16-year run for this one, which is not too shabby at all.
Why it is considered to be the best film camera in the world?
Well, it's a little bit arguable on that point because some people are fanboys and girls of the F100, which is the cheaper, lighter alternative, or the F5, which is the bulky one, but it has a number of features which argue in its favor. So let's go through those.
Okay.
First up, some of the basics. It has full 3D matrix metering as well as spot and center weighted metering, which is very similar and actually taken from the developments of the D2X and D200 digital cameras.
Very cool. It goes up to 8,000 of a second in a shutter speed. It does 5.5 frames per second, and also with additional MB40 grip, it can go up to 8 frames per second.
Speaking of the MB40 battery grip, you can actually use it to change out the batteries in the F6. So not only does it give you a faster frame rate, but instead of using standard CR123 batteries, which are small and a little bit annoying, you can instead use 8 AA batteries or even the Nikon E&EL 4A rechargeable battery if you use an adapter.
Okay, let's talk about lens compatibility. It's not compatible with pre-AI, however you can put AI, AIS, autofocus lenses, so AF, AFD, AFS, and the G-type lenses. Now, you can also mount, technically, an E lens, so something like 105 f1.4e. However, you can't change the aperture on those, so they would be wide open. So technically, we call them incompatible, but you can technically mount them on.
That's right. Now, it's also compatible with Nikon's full range of speed lights from the creative lighting system with ITTL flash. So if you've got a modern DSLR setup and you want to add a film camera to that, then this is the one that's going to speak the most to your existing kit, which is very exciting.
Have a look at the back. It's the only camera that's got this little screen at the back on Nikon camera. So what you can do with this, full list of custom settings can go in there. You can check the shutter count, aka raw count on the camera, however you can reset it if you want. You also can imprint information on your film in between the frames. So what can you choose there, Becky?
Yeah, you don't need a data bag to imprint the focal length, the shutter speed, the aperture, the date and time. All of that stuff is built in, so you can actually pick and choose what data you want, either on the frame or in between the frames when shooting a roll of film. It also has built-in things like interval timer, multiple exposure. You've got your full range of autofocus, shooting, flash settings, just like you would have in a custom settings menu on a digital body. So it's all fairly similar.
That's true. So when you're considering buying this camera, and this is an expensive camera, what you actually get with the price is the technology. So it's not only having the fastest autofocus and the best metering on Nikon film cameras, you also get frame rate, compact design. That camera can be used for any professional job you throw it in.
Now let's talk about some cons.
Let's not talk about me, but you mentioned the CR123 batteries. It's basically half-size AA's. Those are not available in every supermarket, and it's very difficult to get rechargeable ones for those, so you might want to keep those handy in your pockets.
That's right. You also cannot change the heads on the F6, which you can do with the F5. So what you've essentially got is a completely fixed chassis. You can change the focusing screens, however. You can also change the eyepiece and diopter, and if you wanted to change the viewfinder to something like a right angle finder, you could do that as well. But you can't change the head, so there's no high magnification head or waist level head for this.
Yeah, however, there's a DK17M, which is a magnifying eyepiece that goes in there. Your MC30 and MC36 that are still current accessories will be compatible with this. The flash sinks, etc., etc. The remote triggers will go on the camera and will trigger the flash cards.
That's right. And the last, what I consider most important thing, is you can program up to 9 different manual focus lenses in here as well. So if you're shooting with a series of manual lenses, you've got your non-CPU lens data, which can be programmed right into the camera, and you can choose between lens 1 to 9.
You can just get an F3.
You can also do that.
And this is how you load it.
The way that you open the F6 is much like some of the older film cameras. You do have to pull up your little lever here and release the lock button like that. The back will then pop open. Now, these film cameras are very easy to load. You quite literally line the film up with the red mark here. However, there is a little trick. There's a small piece of plastic, which means you have to load it at an angle. Like that. Put along to there. This is an already used piece of film, so turn it on, push your button, and it's ready to go. Now, when you're ready to rewind the film, there are two release buttons or rewind buttons. The first one is numbered number 1 and it's under this flap here. The second is number 2, which is actually the bracket button here. So you push and hold that. I've got my camera set so that the film leader actually stays out in case I need to reload the film, and there it is. Thank you very much for watching. Please give us a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this F6 homage video.
Is F6 the ultimate camera, or is it F5?
And if you'd like to hear more about the F6, we did a whole hour-long live stream on it that you can find on our channel. We'll include a link for you below.